Now this looks like something I could definitely get into. Ark Survival Evolved, right? Looks pretty good. Those pictures look awesome. 2 gigahertz dual core, 64-bit. DirectX 10 compatible GPU with 1 gigabyte of video RAM. Easily within those parameters. That looks pretty kick-ass. Whoa. That's enough for me. I'm sold. I'm sold. This is the next big thing. Yeah, let's check this out. All right. Hair color. Well, let's go with something realistic here. Oh, look at that guy. Oh, Quagmire. Meow. Meow. Female, eh? Oh, there we go. Give her a nice long neck. Very slender neck. Let's give her some nice big hips. Okay. Look at those boobs. Okay, well, enough of that. Wow, this feels pretty slow. Check our frame rate here. Wow. 12 frames, 13 frames per second. Oh, 15 frames per second over here. Well, what can we do about that? Medium anti-aliasing high. Well, we'll turn the anti-alias down to low. And we'll turn the textures to low. Apply. Still only 15 frames per second. Even lower frames as I look across that way, and the game looks like trash. Alright, well, we'll turn that back up. We'll turn the textures back to epic as well. Well, we lost maybe 1 frame per second. Resolution scale. Turn that down a little bit. See what that gets us. Holy boost in frame rate. I mean, up close he looks alright. Looks pretty good up close. That's almost an acceptable frame rate. Let's see how far we can get this. See, I want to clock 40 frames per second in 1920 by 1080. Now, it doesn't look like I'm going to get it. And turning down the resolution scale just makes everything look really blurry. Alright, well. I'm just doing this for demonstration, guys. I've been playing this game for a while. Thanks to Merc, he bought me this game and gifted it to me across Steam. And while this game has a lot of really great mechanics like collecting, crafting, combining things, this game rate is suffering from extremely bad frame rates right off the get-go. So you don't get that look and that experience that you see the high-profile streamers streaming with their 980 Ti's and their Titan graphics cards. If you're running AMD hardware, you're going to have a problem with this game. And, well, I have an high-end Intel CPU, but my graphics card's a little dated. It's going on about 2 or 3 years old now, and it only has 2 gigabytes of RAM. And unfortunately, it is AMD. Now, these guys, Studio Wildcard, or Wildcard Studio, they have decided to partner with NVIDIA, and I sure hope that that doesn't mean that they're not going to optimize towards AMD as well when they do their graphical optimizations. But in all honesty and through experience, I can't see them optimizing this game anything past maybe gaining everybody an extra 5 frames per second, especially considering they're only going to be adding more content. They don't plan on removing anything such as foliage or anything like that. And, well, if I look up in the sky, I can get my 60 frames per second. But as soon as I start looking towards foliage and things like that, it starts to go down. Especially across there, it's drawing the water and the things in the distance, but you know, this is definitely a next generation early access alpha game. I don't see them really being able to save everybody who has a video card that's more than 2 years old. It's just, I don't think it's going to happen for us, people. I think a lot of us, if we like the game enough, and there is enough to like in this game, it is extremely fun. I just don't think that we're gonna, we're gonna be forced to go and get that better computer hardware if you want to play this game at the frame rate that I'm playing at right now. I would probably need a 980 Ti to play with my resolution scale cranked all the way up. As you can see, more than half my frame rate is gone now, and it is very, while it still is sort of somewhat smooth, I'm not seeing tearing and chatter and stutter and things like that. It's not fun to play like this. It's just not. It doesn't feel fluid enough. My mouse turns a lot slower. I mean, I could crank up the sensitivity on my mouse, but it just feels storyboardish, like you're watching a fast-paced slideshow. It doesn't feel, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me. I need minimum 30 frames per second to be really happy and say, yeah, okay, I can play this. And like I said, in 1920 by 1080, well, 1080p, this is the only way I can play it. This is it, right here. And that feels fairly smooth, not half bad. Well, let's drop my resolution down. Let's do that. I want the high-end graphics. Okay, so 720p is 1280 by 768, is that right? Or 1280 by 720? Well, let's try 1440 by 900. Let's try that. Better. I guess it's playable. I guess. Still feels real slow. Real slow. Let's make it look horrible. Let's drop the resolution scaling way down. There we go. Clocking the frames per second now. They're saying optimization's coming. It's coming, and hey, it's only a few days. This game's only a few days old, so have patience. But guess what? This game's been in development for quite a while. You don't think that they tested this out on hardware? Didn't they try this out on any mid-range games? I mean, they must have been able to. They must have, because they came up with the idea that you could somehow play this game in an enjoyable fashion on a 2 gigahertz dual core, what was it, 2.4, whatever it was, a dual core processor and a 1 gigabyte video card. Man, I can't even imagine playing on that. I would imagine it would be something like you'd have to lower it down to like something like this. And even then, I'm only clocking 40 frames per second. I get high 70s if I look up in the sky. This is 640 by 480. And I'm not even clocking 40 frames per second. Oh, there we go. Now I am. So in 640 by 480, I can't even clock 40 frames per second. I have 16 gigabytes of RAM. I'm running this off of a solid-state drive. Not that that makes a difference except for really load times. I have the i7 4770K processor. Very modern processor. My video card, while it's a, I don't know, it's a 2012 video card, HD 7850. It's going on 3 years old. Well, it is. It's 3 years old. It's got 2 gigs of RAM, and this is what I'm getting. So I don't know. I can't see, for the amount of time this thing's been in development and all these optimization promises that they're making on the Steam forums. I don't see how they could really optimize this game any very much further than what we're already getting. I think we're all going to be forced to upgrade our hardware. But I'm going to get out of this ugly resolution right now. I'm going to drop this back down. I want to be able to play in 1080p. I play every other one of my video games in 1080p. I should be able to play this one too. But really, I can't. I mean I can. I'm settling for less than 30 frames per second, which sucks. But whatever. Alright. Let's take out our frustrations on a dodo bird. There's the dodo. I mean, those trees look like crap across the way. Oh. Really? Really? You're gonna take me on, are you? I'm a pretty tough chick. It's a lot harder to target characters in this game. It's hard to target them when you're playing at a lower frame rate. Like I said, you can get dinosaur pets in this. You can ride the dinosaurs. Apparently, you can fly the pterodactyls, and that alone should tell you this game is going to be taxing on your hardware. And like I said, it's an awesome game. Great concept. It's bound to be a winner for a very long time unless the developers do something very foolish, like start adding trucks and cars and things like that into it. I can see this game going a very long way. As it sits right now, if your hardware is weak, maybe, I don't know, maybe pick it up now while it's cheaper, but you might ruin your playing experience by trying to play it, especially if you have AMD hardware.